Initiating System 1. System 1 loaded.
The Gorecast is brought to you by American Horrors, the greatest uncut horror channel in the world. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all horror. As well as the Station of Decapitation Without Your Head.
America's longest running horror channel, www.withoutyourhead.com.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
What's up, Gorecasters? Welcome back here to the Gorecast with me, Johnny Deadly, and all of the rest of my movie reviewing rugrats to the right of me.
Scaling on my camera seems a bit off.
Yep. That's you, Giz. I don't mean to shock you. What some would describe as every week. You're the only guy. You're the only one. I have to come in, and every week I have to manually readjust your camera size.
It's not like I'm fucking stuff around or anything, because I'm not.
No, but remember you said your chair like slowly sinks or something.
My chair has nothing to do with the entire screen needing to be fragging readjusted, man.
Well, it probably does because this isn't you looking shorter than everybody else. I have no more camera frame that I can add in. That's you from your bottom of your frame up. So,
well, as in most things in life, I'm short. Nothing I can do about it.
Okay.
Moving on. Into it. I use phone books.
I like when we start the show with a fact. It's nice. It means it's like we're edutainment.
Also, happy birthday, Shane.
Happy birthday, Shane.
Is it Shane's birthday?
Who knows?
He's still getting more love than from most people.
There's some sweat going on outside my house, so yes, he's probably.
Just take note when we did this now, and we can clip it and send it to him on his birthday. Happy birthday!
Yeah.
Everybody very enthusiastic.
We love you more than your fascia.
Do we? I love your ability to show how far genetical modifications have come. I think that's
it's a robot. We all know it. Oh no, sorry, clone.
I love
clone. That's where the genetic modification's coming in. I'm pretty sure he's not a robot. He did walk out of a helicopter crash. Or did
Terminator.
I love your ability to sweat when you're not doing anything at all.
Yeah.
Just standing there.
Yeah.
It's a byproduct of his sped up metabolism, the instantaneous healing.
Oh, he needs to.
And also, don't forget, he's a clone that's probably been force grown to be that age.
It makes more sense now. It all makes more sense now.
Yeah. Science.
Shane 3 did not make it out of that helicopter crash. Hey, Bree, how are you? Welcome in.
Hi, Bree.
Hello.
He did not make it out of the helicopter crash. They just rolled out Shane 4. Because as everybody knows, Shane 2 arrived after the Steve Blackman incident.
Because then Shane 3 must have been the Undertaker throwing him off the cell.
No, there was also Test. Don't forget Test.
Oh, yeah.
Test incident as
so
well.
We're actually on, Shane's, 6.
The Snake Pit in Glasgow. That's a great name.
The Snake Pit.
Are you some sort of pub?
Ooh.
And also, hello to Tristan, who just arrived on.
Hello, Tristan. How are you? Hey, guys, just cooking. I'll be in then. Love your faces. It looked like feces for a second, the way my cable was going over.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one that just for a split second went, "Arr."
Oh, it's Alpha. All right, Alpha. What's going on, brother? How are you? God damn. If you ever open a pub, it has to be called the Snake Pit. Just to let you know.
Oh, wow.
Oh, good.
It did look like I love your faces.
Good start to the show.
Although that means, do you know what I mean? It's like, I love your shit. Which I can take that as a compliment.
Talk.
I actually thought that's what she meant.
As long as it's never followed up by, can you send me samples?
Oh, no.
Mm.
Yeah, I went too far.
Oh, I am already.
I went too
already, and we're only 5 minutes into the show.
Went too far. Anyway, we've got a smorgasbord of fucking what's
stuff.
What's that meat platter called? What you call it? No, not a shirt
Charcuterie?
Thank you. Charcuterie. We've got a charcuterie plate of horror movies lined up for
Hang
you.
on, just briefly, Buzz. I have never heard of that word before, so I would just like to thank you for telling me a word that I've never heard of.
It's Buzz and it
before.
involved a large plate of meat.
Yeah.
Fair enough, but even still, just thank you for that.
Yeah, well done.
It's one of those cool boards, and you like put like you can put a bunch of you can put vegetables.
Yeah,
And
you can. You don't though.
you can do fruits.
You can't-
Right.
It's mostly lots of deli meats and some cheeses
Yes.
and many
Like
crackers.
some hams, and
Different
some
hamses.
Deli tray.
Get some salamis.
Yeah.
Some sort of chorizo.
turkeys. Maybe an olive. An olive, maybe
An
can
olive
go
is
down
okay.
there.
Yeah, an olive,
Yeah,
depending
yeah.
on the cheese. Or if you could get a cheese that
Exactly.
has some sort of olive in it, that'd be fine as well.
Ooh.
Some Munster and some Swiss
Some good old fashioned cheddar ched.
Oh,
mozzarella.
definitely Teddy.
Oh,
I don't know why I turned into Macho Man Randy Savage. Doing that.
goddamn
Some
mozzarella.
That cheese, and when you sap it into your Slim Jims, yeah.
He's the type of man that would just fold up a Slim
Freak
Jim.
out, freak out. Slim Jims, oh, great invention.
So tonight we have the new Puppet Master movie. Puppet Master, Doktor Death.
Dr. Death.
It's one of the few
Steve
Puppet Master
Williams.
movies that follow a specific puppet. Blade being the other one, I believe.
Since their reboot, The Littlest Reich, they've actually been doing pretty good. Or no, I guess it would be Blade because his came out before Little Reich.
Yes, it did. I don't know why I tried to say that
nice.
as Connery for some. Yes, I think you'll find.
Because
you're
we all need a
correct.
little more Connery in life.
Yeah, much more.
Just give him a little slap. Yep, that got him cancelled so fast. I remember that.
smoking a pancake.
Do you remember that when it was some interview from fucking, like, in his defense, the interview was like back from fucking, I don't know, he was like 20, so whenever World War One, I don't whatever, they were just like, how do you handle the women when they get out of fucking sorcery? You just give them a little slap. And he got his fucking ass handed to him for that. Like, it was probably 70 years later.
I was gonna say. I think he was telling that story to Moses, and then just next up, he's being canceled 80 years later.
Okay, yes, Puppet Master. We have Puppet Master, Doktor Death. We also have David Cronenberg's new movie. Ooh-wee!
Sorry,
It's a Cronenberg.
did you see Bill's one?
Twisted look cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill.
Do you know what I like about that joke, Bill? It's funny because
It's
true.
funny.
We have the new David Cronenberg movie. It's very Cronenberg. Not in a good way, though. Well,
Unless you like ears.
yeah. Well, that's like a
That's just
Cronenberg thing.
once.
I'll get into that when we get into it. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Full discretion, I only saw...
About an hour.
Yeah, so say...
About half.
Yeah,
It's an hour 45.
yeah, just
so.
a little over half of the movie because it may have knocked me unconscious. Now, I had a very long day at work, so I am partially giving credit to work, but I did watch 2 movies before that quite awake. So, just saying.
It's got subtlety.
Yeah. And next up, we have Hellblazers, which is a movie about a cult, surprise, surprise, who have unleashed some demon overlords, surprise, surprise, onto the world, and some hicks have to go and try and resolve it, surprise, surprise, with an absolute fucking hurricane of famous people in it that are in it for absolutely no fucking reason, because they're literally maybe only in there for 4 minutes altogether. Yeah.
They're in there just for enough time to,
This
go
movie kind
catering.
of I won't lie to you, I'm a big fan of The Void, and this movie kind of pissed me off because it was kind of like, this is just The Void, but at daytime with no budget and remove all of the Lovecraftian undertones.
And stick in knockoff Doom Demon.
Knock off Doom. Mate,
Yeah.
he's not even a knockoff Doom Demon. Doom Guy would annihilate that. Like, don't get me wrong.
I'm
Doom
just
Guy
talking about
annihilates
hang on.
most things that he's Doom
I'm just
Guy.
talking about the visual.
Yeah, yeah.
He went to the local thrift store and bought himself a costume.
Yeah.
It looked like to me.
Yeah. But Tony Todd's in it. So
What do
that's
you
a
guys-
bonus because we love Tony Todd.
Yeah.
And Billy Zane's
Yeah.
in it
Yeah.
with hair.
Yeah.
Won't lie to you.
Don't blink or you'll miss him, though.
Yeah. Because he's right at
Both
the
times.
end. Right at the end and right at the beginning. He's like the
Yeah,
the bookshelf of not
Yeah.
bookshelf,
Bookend.
bookends, like the bookends of Hellblazers.
He's a delicious bread to a shit sandwich. That is this movie.
Tony Todd's in there as well, mate.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Probably happier about Tony Todd
been
being in there than Billy Zane, to be honest.
Right. Yeah, but like all these people that were in there enough to save the film.
Billy Zane's been ruined for me, or made better for me ever since Zoolander, because he's always just going to be like, it's a walk off, it's a walk off.
Zoolander.
Zoolander. Billy Zane is in Zoolander during the model walk off thing that I aforementioned.
Holy crap! I don't remember that.
I'm
Billy
surprised
Zane
you don't
is in
remember because he was
everything.
literally in it as Billy Zane. Do you know when they
Apparently
have
it's
the
been a while
walk off?
since I've seen it.
They have the walk.
Yeah.
David Bowie announces that they're about to do the walk off, and then when they both agree to the terms and conditions of the walk off, that's when Billy Zane very excitedly just turns to the crowd and is like, "Back it off, people! It's a walk off! It's a walk off!"
Wow, I guess it has been a few since I've seen it. Then I never got around to the sequel.
He was also in Demon Knights.
That
Tales
we
of
all
Oh, that's my
Cryptids.
favorite. That and Phantom, or the Phantom.
Yeah,
was
Billy
in
Zane was the
Critters,
bomb
he
in
was
Phantom.
No,
it's a different
the
movie.
Phantom. The Phantom.
Yeah,
Ghost,
that's what I'm on
Ghost Who
about.
Walks.
No, I'm aware. That's why I didn't say Phantoms.
Oh. Word, bitch. Phantom like motherfucker.
After death, what is the only organ in the female body which remains warm? Oh God. Okay. Well, we just...
I thought you were the one that okayed that because I wasn't going to.
I didn't.
And then it got okayed, and I went, "Oh, clearly Johnny saw it."
Maybe I didn't read it.
I see Carter laughing there.
I
It
started
was in
laughing.
Back to the Future 1 and 2?
Billy
I
Zane.
was fine with it, but then when kids started laughing, that's when I lost it.
Well,
Oh, I just read it. That's funny.
And now all four of us are caught up.
That's my Vince McMahon laugh.
happy birthday, Shane.
Good shit, pal.
Yeah. Okay. What movie do you want to do first?
Oh, God.
Cowboy.
I can't really say from worst to best because I mean, it's just all a big pile of poo. But one came out first.
How? Okay.
They all
Yes,
came
you
out.
got a D10. I need to start bringing my
Did they
dice
all come out the
upstairs.
same year?
1 to
Yeah, they all
3.
came out in 2022.
1 to 3 is Puppet Master. 4 to 6 is Crimes of the Future, and 7 to 10 is the other one, Hellblazers.
Hellblazers, it is.
Okay.
Hellblazers it is. You ready for Billy Zane? Well, don't be.
Hellblazers, they run around trying to fight a weird cult.
Trying to fight a
Hellblazers.
Hellblazers.
You get caught up in the Hellblazers. Isn't that King?
No, it's a very.
That's Crossfire.
They're a very famous ghost hunting TV show.
Oh,
What
yeah. I
fucks
forgot.
me up is
Who absolutely
Ghostfacers.
hate them Winchester boys.
They don't like the Winchesters because the Winchesters are actually ghost hunters.
What fucks me up is old boy from Ghostfacers is now on like a military TV show playing a Marine, and it's just weird to see him all like serious and like jacked.
Ghost facers. I'm running around the woods with an AK-47.
Right?
Ghost facers. Stealthily
So weird.
murdering people in the middle of the night. Ghost facers.
Didn't even rhyme.
You try and make all that rhyme.
I wasn't going to try. I would have come up with something else maybe.
Okay,
but-
bang it out there now off the spot there. Really quick, no time to think. Let's just horse it out of your mouth there instantaneously. Go for it now. Go.
Ghost facers running through the woods, stabbing people in the dark. Da-na-na-na. Ghost facers.
That didn't
Cover
rhyme
up.
either.
Covered in blood, you know it's a lark. Da-na-na. Ghost facers. See, that rhymed. You just didn't have the patience.
He also added a second verse. Anyway, Hellblazers.
Bill's probably not going to let that one through. That's just going to stay. That's going to
See,
stay.
I am not touching these. I'm leaving them all up to you. So if anyone go through, it's not me. Okay?
Yep.
I'm never stupid enough to let Bill stuff through unless it's allowable.
YouTube has very much advertised the fact that they don't have a sense of humor that we know of. So,
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
Legitimately, man, we're surprised we're not getting kicked off the whole fucking time.
but it's a very good joke. In your defense,
I think
Shit,
I think they're
I
trying
should
to
have read it.
sabotage me putting.
I should have read it. I didn't read it. I didn't. Balls.
I think they're trying to sabotage me from being able to put the episode up on Spotify. That's why the episode was delayed. Because anyway, Hellblazers 2022. Billy Zane is in it. They want to bring a
Can
demon.
I say, by the way, Buzz, I'm loving your go-getfulness tonight. No one even said who's going to do this movie. You're just like, Hellblazers, I'm up, bitches. Let's fucking go.
It's one of those things
Let's
where it's
fucking
like,
go.
it's the Band-Aid and just go rip it off. Cause
He's like, if there's gonna be any film I talk about tonight, it's gonna be this one. Fuck it.
yeah.
I'm not
It's
even
the
gonna
one that
watch Crimes of the Future.
Well, that means
dude.
I've
If
got
I had
Puppet
to-
Master because I can't
I was
do...
gonna say, if I had to do Crimes of the Future, just be me going like this for 30 minutes.
It'll be...
You know, what the fuck was going on?
We're definitely going to have myself and Buzz do a trailer for Crimes of the Future anyway. That's going to be fun.
Jesus Christ.
No,
Anywho, help.
I find it hilarious that I think, Johnny, you were definitely one of the people. We looked at the trailer. You were definitely one of the people that was like, "Oh yeah, I can't wait to see that."
That was me.
Yeah, sorry. In my defense, I was like, this is either... I do believe I said this is either going to be really good or bad.
It's a Cronenberg
Yeah.
film, so I mean, there's
I was
always
excited
that's-
until, if memory serves me correctly, I saw the monster in the trailer, and I was like,
What monster?
He's not about the Cronenberg film.
I'm not...
So am I.
I'm on about the fucking... Did you not see the demon thing? It
Hang
never
on.
really
No,
comes to
we-
fruition.
He's talking about help.
We are talking about different movies.
I'm on about Hellblazers.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Neither was Buzz and character there for the last couple of minutes.
Oh, sorry. You could see how, in a production way, I thought we were going to stick on the topic of Hellblazers for
you
maybe
were the one
for...
that changed it.
How did I change it? I was talking about
Billy
Hellblazers.
Zane. He wants to raise some hell, literally. So, standing in some random forest or woods, and he's going to raise some hell. And they're going to raise this demon, so the demon can rise up from the hells and eat people, because the demon's hungry, and it needs to eat people, and it needs Billy Zane to arise him from the dead. Or, well, maybe not the dead, but raise him from hell.
Hell.
Anywho. Yeah, there we go. He has a bunch of doofuses standing around with hoods over their faces that can only be... Oh, they're going to be so good in the rest of this film. They just standing around, and they bring some local town folk in, and he's
This
like,
poster is
Hey.
so big. You're going to be
get
finished
on
the
your
review by
knees
the
and
time I
tell me you
resize
love
it.
me. And they push the dude into the hole, and then the demon comes out. Bruce Dern's watching from his side of the yard, and he's like, the hell's going on? They're raising, there's a demon. I need to go tell the sheriff. And that's what happens. That's the opening to Hellblazers. Next scene, we're in some small town where pretty much the whole town is like maybe a mile and a half. Like everything's on one street. One of those cool. It's like kind of like Tombstone. Everything's just right there. Oh, it's got Billy Zane in it. Good job. They might have even shot it on the same lot. Who knows? But yeah, everything in town's just on one street. Don't see anything else. Just like this deserted area just has one strip of commerce. Like there's a restaurant, and there's a place where you fix your car, and then there's a sheriff
Bill.
station. Night Bill. And then
Right,
there's
brilliant. That's a
place
very
with
good
the-
French joke, by the way, as well.
I think it's
There's a
because
place where
soldiers was
the-
in it that YouTube banned it.
What?
Bill was wondering why it got banned. I think it's because it actually had soldiers written in it, and YouTube banned it.
Quite possibly. Quite possibly.
yeah. So small town,
I don't see what the problem
big
is. with that one.
problems
That's fine.
as a demon. Yeah, so the small town people, everybody knows everybody in the small town. They get a new sheriff. And he doesn't really, people don't know him very well.
No, because he's new.
Yeah, he's brand spanking new from sheriff school. I don't know.
New York.
He came from the big city of New York. Well, that's where you go to sheriff school.
From
Yes,
the
I
big,
was trying to
the big
finish.
smoke.
The boy wanted like some peace and quiet. Left the big city.
Yeah,
Such
wanted
a
to
big
go
deal.
where all he had to do was he just had to take like one, a 5-minute stroll, and he pretty much walked through his whole town.
Right. Hey, put your dog on a leash. Oh, I'm done for the day.
Yeah, that's a big problem. And his biggest problem really is Bruce Dern. He's an old crazy man who is a veteran of some war. Don't remember which one, but
Vietnam.
a war.
It was written on his hat.
Vietnam. There you go. It was written on his hat. I wasn't looking at his hat. And he just spouting all this crazy shit, telling people, it's like, a demon is rising up from here. You need to do something about it, Sheriff. And Sheriff's like, okay, what do you want me to do about it? And then he's like, I don't know, but you better do something or I'm going to do something. And then Bruce Dern does something about it. He goes to his freaking property and he kills the stupidest cult members ever who just must have been wanting to die because they just keep walking into landmines as they just saw their friend just get blown up, or they're just gonna be like, "Oh, he can't have. He's only got one."
They don't care.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I felt like those were the ones that like could not figure out how to use a door. So it's like, okay, go after the guy in the wheelchair. You should be able to pull it off. Nope. All right.
Yeah. These are the interns of the cult. They're like, you go get the man in the wheelchair. You guys can handle that. And they're like, no, they definitely can't.
Of the cult.
Yeah, well, that's when you would send your interns to the easy jobs.
They all
go get water.
Would you call it an easy job?
Well, no, but if you're like,
I thought it was an easy job.
In concept, going to take on like an 80-year-old guy in a wheelchair should be able to be done by 2-3 people. They proved that totally harder than it should have been.
Yeah, but in the defense of the 3 cult guys, don't get me wrong, they're very stupid, but the old guy that went to get had what some would describe as an excessive amount of ordnance.
That's true. And my thing is, when I watch one of my buddies just like blow up after walking on the ground, I'm like, oh, this may be problematic. But the others are like, well, his foot just blew up. Cool, whatever. And like they just charged in with like no fear or whatever, like no IQ.
Yeah, so he kills a bunch of them, and then he ends up blowing himself up because of reasons. I don't know why, because he could have handled it without having to kill himself, but because they probably only could afford Bruce Dern for one day. I mean, the budget was probably fairly low, and most of that money went to the one day Bruce Dern was there on set. So I'm sure they had to be like, yeah, he's got to go pretty early because can't afford day 2 for Bruce Dern. Anywho, pretty much it's just random shit starts happening. Demon keeps showing up, just randomly eating people. The sheriff and his inept deputies and stuff like that.
I like to call them inepties.
I love that.
You're welcome.
That needs to be put on a
t-shirt.
t-shirt.
Like it.
They're trying to solve the problems, but they're just as dumb. Not just as dumb. They're a step above the dumb intern cult people. They could kind of figure things out a little bit, but people just start dropping like flies, and just a weird dollar store demon just keeps eating people.
In defense,
definitely not a dollar store demon. Let's be fair.
In defense, they did start shutting down the town, like that whole took out the phone line and what have you.
Oh yeah, because that's right. Because Bruce Dern's like, hey, they said they were going to take the phone lines down. I'm like, you crazy old man.
When is this movie set? Don't you have mobile phones now?
Yeah,
right.
Cutting down the phone lines is kind of
they are out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
They still had a payphone.
The payphone would use the phone lines.
I know. I'm just saying that's how old this town was. It has a payphone.
They may not have gotten
one of those cellular anymore.
No, not here.
No.
Actually, come to think of it,
like it's a joke in most movies over here to see a payphone.
Where does Superman get to change now?
Right.
The bathroom probably misses it.
Probably. It would make
have any kind of.
Actually, come to think of it, do we have payphones over here anymore? I don't think we do.
Yeah, I can't remember the last
I
time.
actually can't think of.
Like now, most of the gas stations I go to just have like a hole in the wall where they just like ripped out the old phone.
Yeah. So they knock out all the phones. I mean, they try a couple of them. Can't they interrupted that one guy, the mechanic. He was trying to order a part for the guy's car, and then the phone got disconnected.
Yeah, how's he going to order that part in 2022?
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, there's no interwebs or anything.
What
is
no,
this?
hang on.
www.
Whoa. Ye are apparently missing a really vital part. It's not 2022 in the film. It's actually set in the 80s.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I totally missed that then.
Set in the 80s.
Good job. Good job.
How
establishing that movie?
I don't remember like a timestamp.
When did that happen?
It's okay. Nope, there wasn't a timestamp. It's just going on stuff to the scene. Plus, it's either in the trailer or in the biops or in the bio for the film. But there's definitely the film is set in the 80s.
Didn't really feel very 80s.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, there was no mention of internet. The lads hadn't seen Halloween or Cujo.
Small town. I wrote it off as just people that,
No town is
like those movies would have been before that, though. Halloween was 78, so it was the 80s. Halloween would have been.
No, he's
but
right.
The point is,
set in the late 1980s, the Satanic Cult has a singular focus of unleashing hell on Earth.
Huh.
As usual, you had to read to find things out. That's what the fuck. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Oh, Buzz.
No, I honestly just wrote off that whole, like, they were just kind of like stamping the fact that a small town just didn't know about like the cool big city shit.
It wouldn't.
I didn't think it was a timestamp.
Yeah, they were using those as timestamps. Also, the fact that everyone had rotary phones.
I just thought it was because they were a mountain town.
Small town. Yeah. Because, like, some places around here, you honestly, like, cell phones don't work. So there are still places here that rely on, like, hard lines.
No, hard lines is one thing. But I mean, specifically, like, they had rotary phones.
The style of phone. Oh, yeah, she was doing a very 80s
Yeah, but you can get them now.
You can, but generally speaking, they're not as prolific as they would have been during the 80s. You get them now as a novelty. You don't see everyone in the same area.
They were a great phone. I used to love that.
Yeah.
And also, you can't like fault me because there was a very lack of doing drugs and voting for Ronald Reagan in this film. That's the only thing that I know about the 80s. So
that's a small town.
Those two things aren't happening.
Small town. They didn't even know about Halloween or Cujo. Jesus fuck.
Probably that one too.
But it being the 80s, why wouldn't they know about Halloween?
I don't know, because it's a small town. They didn't have a cinema.
That movie.
Yeah,
that movie took over the world the year it came out.
The one strip of town that they had, there was no cinema there.
No, like legit, the town my grandparents came from, no cinema.
See?
Oh yeah, because that was right.
But they had outside
shit.
Communications with the outside world, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, okay, when I was younger, like, they really just kind of stuck to themselves. Like, they went to.
No, but I'm like, do you remember how much newspaper coverage Halloween had when it came out initially?
Oh yeah.
No, I wasn't born.
Thank you, Buzz.
Carter was.
I honestly answered. I just didn't know.
Technically, I was as well, but I was too young to know what the fuck was going on. So,
hang on.
No, I honestly thought that they were just trying to.
Whoa! When the original Halloween came out, that makes you older than me.
The original Halloween was 78.
Oh no, I meant about like the preluding sweep of media about Halloween. Not literally the year Halloween came out. Although it would have been 83. I thought Halloween was 79. I don't know. I would just fucking shut up.
We're talking about Hellblazers. We're not talking about.
No, I honestly thought they were just trying to make this like legit, like make it seem like just that small town and shit. So I didn't really think anything about all that.
Well, they did.
Continue the USA.
But yeah, so there's demon on the loose. All of the demon's henchmen or Billy Zane's henchmen, I don't know. They're out getting people to feed the demon, and the local townspeople have to stop the demon from eating people.
Yeah, because a small town.
They're the ones that are being eaten,
right?
Yeah. So we got a small group.
They literally
of
know
people
everyone that's getting eaten because Everybody knows everyone.
Tony Todd's there for a little bit. He works
45
at
seconds.
the diner, I think.
No, he doesn't work. He doesn't work at the diner.
But he was at the diner. Oh no, yeah, he doesn't work at it. He came in to eat foods.
I think he's some sort of lumberjack trucker man.
And he don't care.
Yeah.
Just a guy that drives around with a shotgun.
Yeah. That's why he said
America,
lumberjack trucker man.
Yeah, but it's America. Don't you all drive around with shotguns?
Not all, but
Not all,
There
of
are
course.
no, there are some. Some
Mostly.
like to drive around with bows, like the whole bow and arrow, they're bow hunters. So we've got hunters with the bows, shotguns,
I think he's talking about the general masses of America, not hunting community.
Yes, so am I.
That's it.
Some people
That's brilliant.
Are there a lot of people walking around with just like what is America like? I've got a weird picture of America in my head because of you.
No,
I'm seeing this.
you don't have to hunt to like bows
Robin
and
Hood
shit.
meets
Like we
cyberpunk
got
kind of.
no,
endeavor.
I'm not No, if you're just taking your dog for a walk, no, motherfucker's not gonna have a bow in his hands.
I
But
thought the only
I've
person
had
running around with
friends.
a bow and arrow in a city these days is fucking Stephen Emile.
No. I mean, like I said, you don't have to hunt to like bows. There's just a lot of people that like fucking bows and shit. So they stock up on their bows,
But
which
they don't
I don't
bring
know
their
why
bow
you need
in
15
the
of
car
them.
with them.
Yeah.
Be surprised.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, oh shit, you want to shoot some fucking arrows? Let me go to my
I'm
trunk
gonna
real
fucking
quick.
die
Like,
when I go to America.
Surprise, I'm not dead yet.
I'm going to say something to the wrong dude,
We all
and I'm
are,
going to get
Buzz.
Sherwood
We all are.
forested in the middle of a fucking parking lot. That guy Kevin Costner'd me.
Dude,
not
it'll be grand, right? Just walk around with a bottle and a rag in it and tell everyone you're Irish.
Oh, sorry, you burnt your dinner.
Oh no.
No, that's Monet. It's okay, you didn't miss anything. We were just talking
Monet's
about
a famous
Hellblazers,
Renaissance
so
painter.
And the fact that apparently America, everyone has a weapon, which I can appreciate.
it's guaranteed the majority of us
I
carry
think,
a
in
knife
light of
just
recent
in case
events
any
of the last 7 days,
people-
this probably isn't the conversational topic we should be knocking around on YouTube.
No. That's why I wasn't really wanting to say much. Anywho.
I wasn't going to either until the
Hellblazers.
crossbow conversation came out, and I was just like, sorry, what is actually going on where you live?
Yeah. Anyway, there's a small group of people left. Tony Todd doesn't make it very long. He's gone.
Someone
Some
stabbed him
other-
in the dick, if I'm not mistaken.
Adrian Barbeau's movie son died. That was sad. Even though I don't really think I think he just got like a scratch. I was like, come on.
No,
see.
he got.
No, he
full
caught
of
it. He caught it deep. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she
He's right in
said.
his chest holes.
Um,
Out.
I mean, technically, that's what you get for standing that close to the door. So
Yeah.
yeah. When you know there's a demon outside and there's that hell.
He's probably going to punch
being
his way
rose,
through the
you don't-
door eventually. More crossbows?
Yeah,
Roshi?
you don't go up
Right.
against. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If there's a
But
demon outside, I'm
eventually-
pretty convinced he's probably going to punch a hole through some sort of door or window. I'm standing in the middle of the room, so I've good access to whatever direction he's coming from. That I've got good access to the opposite direction of that.
Through the roof.
Through the roof. I'll jump out a window. I'll take my risk off a fucking second story. If there's a tree outside, I'll do a fucking Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. I just will probably survive. That's
So
that's the other guy's reference, in case anyone doesn't know.
I like
Have you
it.
seen that movie?
Once.
Will
It's been a
Ferrell and
while.
Mark Wahlberg are like buddy
Yeah.
cops, but it starts off.
Oh, I
it
dug the
starts
shit out of
with
that one.
Sam Jackson. and
Samuel
The
L.
Rock
Jackson are like these
other
super
two.
cops, and like
Yeah.
they just run off a 50-story building. They just go aim for the trees, and they just run clean off the building. And then you're expecting like some sort of Fast and the Furious kind of shit, and then it just cuts to their funeral, and all the cops are like, I don't even know what they were doing. I was like, I don't know. I think they just started buying into their own hype so much they just couldn't not jump off the building. Do you know what I mean? Goddamn heroes.
Will Ferrell is good with everybody. He's
Him and
one of
Mark
those people
Wahlberg,
that
when
you
Mark
just,
Wahlberg meets his wife. Sorry, who is this
Yeah.
woman? It's my wife.
That
I'm
was
sorry,
awesome.
she looks a little bit. I told you to dress up. We'd have company tonight. Sorry, honey. I only got back home from work. Sorry, she looks great. What are you talking? Sorry. What is going on here? He's Will
also
Ferrell's
in,
wife
what was
is stonking
that?
hot in it, and Mark Wahlberg just
Was that
can't
Rosa
wrap his head
Mendez,
around
I think?
it at all. Just the whole fact that they're married just won't compute with his brain. See you, Linda.
They were also in was it Daddy's Home, I think? Was the other one that they were in together?
This where kid says, "I have a couple of videos."
Yeah.
Daddy's what?
1, 2.
Yeah. But yeah, Hellblazers. That's what we're talking about. The sheriff. He ends up saving the day.
Surprise!
And then the movie ends.
He's out of nowhere, by the way. So we wrote him off, but there he is to save the day.
So yeah, so short because we've kind of went off. Short, tight synopsis. Hell raises because of Billy Zane. $2 store demon and his henchmen.
It's not a
killed
$2 store
local
demon.
town
I don't
folk.
like the way he keeps saying that. It's not a great looking demon, but it's visibly more than $2. Easily.
People die.
50.
There's 2 post credits.
There's 2 post credits that I didn't bother watching because
There's
if you're not
2
going to put them in the movie,
post-credits?
then it's
Yeah.
wasting my time.
Billy Zane moving on to another town.
Hellblazers,
and people
you're not
believing
fucking
the story.
Marvel. Just stop. You're not Marvel.
You can't give out to them for that. I think
Nope.
Marvel just made it to a point that everybody needs to stick 45 credits at the end of their.
I know, but nobody cares about the movie that much to sit past the
The only
credits.
guys who don't do the post-credit scene anymore are comedy movies because they just do the funny outtakes during the trailer.
Yeah.
Right.
Which honestly,
It got
I
me-
prefer.
It got me thinking so much to where like I was skipping
Like the old
past
Jackie Chan
fucking
movies.
Cronenberg film to see if there was post credits, and then of course there wasn't. So I was like, oh, of course. The one time that I actually
No,
tried to
because
see if there
Cronenberg,
was
in his
post-
defense, is a proper storyteller, and he tells his whole story
Start,
from
middle, and end.
during the actual fucking film.
So yeah,
He's not.
So
he's not looking to develop no
Hellblazers.
sequels.
If you like Tony Todd, watch about 45 seconds. If you like Billy Zane, watch even less. If you like Bruce Dern, you can get a good 10, 15 minutes of Bruce Dern. And then just don't watch the rest of the movie. Thank you, Tubi.
Really? That's a bit. It's a bit. Is it a bit harsh?
Tell me I'm wrong. I'll sit back.
I mean, I didn't hate it. Like,
guys, defend it.
it was demon hits a town. Town's either going to live or die, like, to fight it. Like, I mean, it did what it was sold. So,
I just feel if you've got a crazy bunch of cultists, some of them should be relatively adept at what they're supposed to be doing.
right. I mean, like, I kind of felt.
Hang on, Billy Zane was adept. He said all of these. I think that's the point. I think Billy Zane had a bunch of morons that he sent off to do his bidding to do all this stuff, and then fucked off to get ready in the next town.
Well, but the thing was, like, you shouldn't have to, like, you should have, like, some people, hopefully, able to do the job. Like, my only job is to raise this demon in hopes to, like, raise hell or whatever the deal was. He's hopping towns because he has so inept individuals behind him
Hang on,
that he's just got to keep prepping.
hold up! Don't forget,
Hold
their
up.
entire job was just to facilitate this thing eating. So, in that regard,
No.
it doesn't. Hang on, their entire job was to, like, when he went away, their entire purpose to staying there was to facilitate this guy eating, to help him get dead bodies to chow down on. He never stated if it had to be specifically townfolk or just them. As far if I'm
Okay.
Billy Zane, I want to recruit a bunch of morons because if they get
Worst
the job
case
done,
scenario, the
cool.
demon can just eat them.
Exactly. The demon is satiated, my job is done, and I'm on to the next town where I'm recruiting a whole new pack of morons to raise another demon and rinse repeat.
But the thing was, though, he had a clock. Had he made it to the clock, then his ritual would have been ended, and, like, his job ended. The demon stayed, hell on earth, the whole 9.
Did he have a
post-credits
so-
thing?
Did he have a clock?
So had he, yeah. Like, there was supposed to be, like, hey, if this demon made it to a certain point or ate enough bodies, it was supposed to, like, unleash hell. This wasn't just like a fucking plant a demon seed and
Yeah, but that's
start
not
fucking over small towns.
that's not a clock so much as waiting for this thing to power up to its full might.
I'll
which it
tell you
didn't get
what,
a chance
while
to do.
we deliberate about the ins and outs of what is and is not a clock, we're going to hit the trailer for Hellblazers, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. See you in a moment.
And we have a close-knit community here. It's been that way for 50 years. Hey, Sheriff! I get it. You big town folk aren't too keen on small town living.
I like the quiet, actually, Rick.
Because we got plenty of that.
Anything new to report?
There might be a rabid coon up in Foxtail Canyon.
Really?
I hate to tell you, Joe, but nothing too exciting happens around here.
Yeah, that's what they keep telling me. Morning, Bill.
I want to make a complaint.
About what exactly?
On my property last night, I had trespassers. They were dressed in sheets. Then they started chanting in a gibberish kind of a language. The earth started to open. Hey, bud, look at me. All hell's about to break loose.
Joe!
What the hell's going on here, Joe? Well, some asshole said some fancy words and raised a goddamn demon out of hell. What are you gonna do? We're gonna level the playing field.
And we have a close-knit community here.
And we're back. That was the trailer for Hellblazers, a trailblazer of a trailer, if you will.
Ooh. Did it excite you? Did it make you want to watch the film?
Did you enjoy watching the video just slowly kind of go this direction, so back to the cinema screen out of nowhere? I thought that was a pretty cool effect myself.
I did.
Yeah, I have no skins.
I liked it more than I did the film. So, Hellblazers, what do you guys think?
It's definitely a movie. So
5.
Okay, or we can just jump in with that. I was going to try and do a bit of a deliberated poo first of all.
No, that's fine. I was like, no, it was also kind of a statement of like, it's 5. It's like, it's a average film. Like, it said what it was going to do, or did what it said it was going to. It had a demon. It had some people fighting for their lives. Excuse me. I like the look of the demon, but like Gibbs pointed out, it just reminded me of something else, which may have been why I liked it. I did like the special effects of like when it started kind of morphing, it looked cool.
Did it?
I mean, compared to the rest of the film, that like there was, I don't know, it just seemed like a lot of the time there wasn't really a lot going on. Like, you know, we were kind of holed up at the fucking.
I know Ghostbusters
Erie.
was a 5, Rochi. That was back when we only. Ghostbusters is literally the reason that we moved to a 10 rating system.
Yeah, but it'd be a 10.
Rochi, go watch Hellblazers.
Although technically, if we were on a 5, oh yeah, no, this would be a 2.5.
Yeah,
2.5. I'm giving it a 3 because.
Like I dug all the faces in it, but I mean,
people
like
that died
the
in the
people
movie,
that really carry it.
the people that died in the movie, for the most part, deserve to die because they exhibited no survival instincts whatsoever. If the sheriff is going to turn out to be your big hero, I get the whole, you know, you set up something earlier and then you get it to kind of fuck off so people forget, and then ta-da, it's back. You know, I get that kind of thing. But if he's going to be your hero in your action horror movie, I think there should be some sort of pretense shown throughout, opposed to just him suddenly being like, you know what, maybe I should nut up and do my fucking job, by the way, sheriff, just to let you know. Fuck. Tony Todd and all the lads are in it. That's awesome, but they're not in it for long enough to have any form of impact or anything on the movie.
Like, you get to cheer when you see them on screen, and then it's off to watch another.
I can see why he's on the front of the poster, though, because Tony Todd looks like a badass holding that sledgehammer.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they needed to sell this movie as it was something that you actually needed to watch.
Yeah, Ghostbusters is a 10, Roach, hands down, 100%.
And see him, jacking somebody in the face with a sledgehammer was cool for all of Tim Sentence. Like, you know.
Yeah.
He was a mean son of a bitch.
There is a lot of star power in this movie. It's just unfortunately none of them are in it for long.
Right.
Besides Adrian Barbeau.
Adrian Barbeau has a chunk.
Yeah, she's pretty much your hero. Screw the fucking sheriff.
Until
guy.
the sheriff just shows
He
up
just
and robs
shows
the
up
glory
and
at the end of it.
Yeah, he just like cleans up everybody's mess. He's like, oh, okay.
To be fair, it's the deputy, the Ted, that turns out to be the real hero for most of it. Like,
right.
It takes. I admit, it takes him a few minutes to get his act together. But when he does, it's kind of like, okay, we're doing this shit. You know.
I can be your hero, baby.
Anyway, I'm gonna give it a 4 because it wasn't absolutely dire crap or anything like that, but it was what it was. You know, it was all right.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to 3. Pretty much the same things Johnny said. They shot a movie. They had some decent stars that kind of just were in there to kind of bring you in to watch the movie, and then they just immediately got rid of them. And then we were left with a bunch of other people that, besides Adrian Barbeau, didn't really care for. Everybody was idiots. And yeah, 3.
3, okay. So that is a 3.75. I'm going to need a moment to make it come on the screen because I may have forgotten to add that layer.
He's gonna need a moment, baby.
I also have forgotten to add the 5,000 fonts that I used to have onto the new computer. So we're going to go with the good old-fashioned Impact, lads. You know, it's a classic.
I'll have to work.
It's a goddamn classic.
Just to answer your question, Tristan, I will be working on a cover album. So
he won't.
I'll have it done.
He won't. He's not allowed.
In a couple months.
No, that's not going to happen.
I feel he's going to do it now just to spite you.
You tell me the tracks, I'll lay them down.
Tristan, he is allowed. We need it, Johnny.
Mm-mm. Do we need it? Is that your final answer?
Obviously, everybody in the chat's just meaning the one person, but I mean, that person says volumes. Says we need it. So,
okay.
Man of the people.
I'm not funding it.
The man of the people.
She needs backup from chat. Oh, sorry. She needs backup from everyone else in the chat. Gotcha.
I'm not funding it. You can fund that passion project yourself.
Took me a minute there.
That's not Gorecast affiliated. 3.75 for Hellblazers. Got the good old Hellblazers going on.
We're on about my cover album, Roshi. Is it a yay or an
fuck's
A?
sake, Johnny, get your shit together. I'm remembering layers. Okay, you got to give me a break. I assembled the majority of this back together from my head because I needed to remove lots of shit that was there initially. Anyway, next movie up is Could You Get the Dice, please?
Oh. Yeah.
I've got to a stage now where I'm just like, dice, do your thing. People used to control the world with dice years ago.
There was an episode
hang
of
on, guys. Just so you know, that's a bit of a red flag, okay? If you start making all your decisions with dice, somebody's going to have to start dressing like a giant bat.
A giant bat?
Yeah, because that sounds like a fucking Batman villain right there.
Oh, there we go. I mean, there was Calendar Man, so why not have Dice Man?
I was going more with two.
They'll get copyright sued by Andrew Dice Clay.
Anyway,
he doesn't have a leg to stand on.
Huh? What are you on about? That man's filthy rich.
Andrew Dice Clay?
Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's not right.
He was one of the most popular comedians for 15 years straight.
Okay, well, that doesn't mean he's rich.
No, the fact that you hear Joe Rogan and them talking about his massive fucking house and his fucking everything else and he's time to go over to hang out with him, that means he's rich. Because if Joe Rogan is saying you've got a massive house, that's a big fucking house, man. Because Joe Rogan's got a big fucking house. Presumably, because his studio in the house looks fucking huge, so I'm assuming that the house is of a proportion.
Holy shit, that's the studio in his house?
That's in his house.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Wow.
Did you just Google what he's worth?
Jesus fucking Christ, I fucking hate you.
Yeah, you fucking mook.
Is he old enough where I can fight him?
I
mean,
I don't know, man. He's pretty. Actually, isn't he jacked as well?
Yeah, he ain't small,
God
but
damn you, comedians and 80s comedians and being jacked.
I don't know. Even when he wasn't jacked, he strikes me as he's got a bar brawler kind of vibe. Do you know what I mean?
65.
Yeah, if he has the right mentality, don't.
Never mind. I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say anything. I just read something about him that would sound like a fucking. Never mind. We're going to move on. What are we doing, guys?
He is known as the
Three men
Diceman.
unconscious. A single shoelace. What was it?
Dude,
Tell me. Are we going to get kicked off air?
The first
No. I just read something he was diagnosed with, and I don't want to. Not going with that anymore.
Dude, he was the first stand-up comedian to sell out Madison Square Garden.
Oh wait, that's okay. That's
holy shit.
He was diagnosed with Bell's palsy, so that's why I was like, I don't want to try to say I'm gonna kick someone's ass that has Bell palsy because I just said it now. But
beat you up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, anywho, guess what movie are we doing?
1 to 5 is Crimes of Thingamajig, and the rest of the numbers are the other one.
Right then. Apparently it's Crimes of Thingamajig, as Johnny put it.
Everybody get ready to sleep.
I feel this probably be me, I guess, Carter, unless you want to take it.
No, if you want to, man, go ahead.
Okay, it's just that, well, neither Johnny nor Buzz were conscious for it, so yeah.
Right.
I watched an hour of that movie. Half an hour of that hour I watched twice. So
okay. So
I'm pretty up on the events until about the halfway point.
That's cool.
And then because not a lot happened anyway.
Yeah, the film opens up with a kid basically down by kind of like this
down by the river. Sorry, couldn't have it.
Yeah, down by this riverside, we can see there's a boat overturning the side, and he's digging stuff up. His mother comes out and tells him not to eat anything, no matter what it is. Strange, but okay. Sometimes you find, stuff that you can eat that's in the water. Whatever.
Well, that and kids do weird shit sometimes.
True.
Yeah, sometimes
Weird
kids
shit.
just eat shit.
Well, yeah, they do.
Literal shit.
Weird shit,
Sometimes,
like,
yeah, that's
Jesus
the thing too.
Christ. So later on, he does eat some weird stuff, like a bin, plastic bin that he starts chewing on. So initially, I thought it was, that syndrome where like you just can't stop eating weird stuff.
Yeah.
I initially thought he had that. I was wrong. The mother decides that she can't. That's all she can stand. She can't stand no more, and decides to do something about it.
It's better than Journey syndrome,
Journey syndrome. What's
where
that?
you can't stop believing.
Okay, that was good.
Living in a lonely world.
That was good.
Anywhere.
Compounded by Buzz.
Oh shit!
Just a city boy.
Warming up. Only warming up.
Anyway,
Born and raised in South Detroit. Go ahead.
Got the midnight train.
so anyway,
going
body.
everywhere.
I'm listening.
Cool. So anyway, the mother has gotten rid of the kid. She left an interesting message, I suppose, for the kid's father. And then all of a sudden, we are jackbooted off to this dude in a really weird organic bio bed that's hanging down from the ceiling. Turns out that he's growing new organs spontaneously inside of himself, and this life firmware bed is designed to soothe any pain that he might be having at any time. Now, this is just a natural thing. Basically, the point is that we are watching a film that is set in the future, a future where humanity has started to evolve to the point that we no longer feel pain, and we also no longer apparently get infections from like open wounds and things like that, which allows for something that's being referred to as desktop surgery, where people are literally cutting into each other out in public, doing whatever the fuck they want, because that's the thing. This particular guy, just going to look up his name because it's fucking weird. Saul Tenser. There we go. Yeah, but it was the Tenser part I couldn't remember. Played by Viggo Mortensen, also a weird fucking name, but there we go.
Do you think that's why Cronenberg hired him for like method acting purposes? It was like the main lead, he's got a weird name. We're going to need somebody with a weird name.
Distinct possibility.
So they're in the same vibe.
So apparently Tensor is spontaneously growing new organs inside of himself. This is something that's being called advanced evolution syndrome. And every time it happens, his performance partner, what was her name?
Caprice.
Thank you. His performance partner, Caprice, who's a former trauma surgeon, uses...
No.
What?
But I'm being messaged to do things and I'm not doing it.
Oh, okay, great. So she's using this device that was originally intended to perform autopsies as part of an artistic performance piece where she removes these new organs, these new vestigial organs perhaps, in such a way that, the people get to watch. And this is in the world that they're in now, with all the lack of pain, with the lack of feeling, the lack of potential infection through like slicing yourself open. There's a lot of this stuff happening where people are cutting on themselves, and it's being done artistically. It's the new way of expressing yourself, and from a certain degree, I can kind of get it. I mean, we have tattoos that are based on pain and expressing and design. There are certain things that happen in this. We've seen body modification happening nowadays with the earlobes or the tongue splitting. I've seen some
horns.
Horns is another thing, yes. So you can see how it would evolve from the current world notion, especially if you're in a world whereby pain is no longer a factor and, infection is no longer a factor, So anyway, Saul is... These organs, they have to be registered because humanity is... The whole pain thing has freaked people out, and they have to recognize the fact that humanity is moving in a certain direction, and they want to try and... If they can't contain it, the very least they can do is monitor it closely. Saul's the first person that seems to be, spontaneously doing this, but there are other situations that they are monitoring as well. One of the things they have done is all the new organs have to be tattooed with stuff that's, distinct. It can't just be mom or, fucking a love heart or an eagle or a death's head. It has to be something specific,
Which is annoying because they're all absolute classic tattoos.
They are, but anyone can do them. So this needs to be like a barcode. You need to...
But also it's a thing of like, that's kind of also her part of the art because she's tattooing it while it's in him.
Well,
growing.
that's kind of... I don't think it was ever explained how that process was happening. But
I'd imagine there's a reason that's never explained.
Well, but everything else is to a degree explained. That was kind of why I was sitting there kind of going, "How?"
Right. No, that caught my attention because they do bring such great detail to key parts, but then they're like, "Oh, she tattoos the shit."
I think if you were to have a real deep interview with Cronenberg, I think it would end up going something like, "Can you explain about the whole tattoo side of the organ transplants? Because it's a bit of a strange process. It just sounded cool when I thought of it, and I just wanted to do it. Not everything needs a backstory. Sometimes it just needs to be, I'm tattooing shit inside in a living body, and it's going to look fucking wow."
So anyway, Tensor is getting these tattooed organs registered with the National Organ Registry, where he runs into a couple of... Caprice calls them creeps. There's Kristen Stewart's Timlin, who is...
a creep.
I liked her character.
So did I. Well, but I mean, like that was the whole point. Like they even make a comment that art, influenced people. It makes them spark, and it did. As soon as she saw their art, she was hooked. She wanted to.
Yeah, there's a lot of aspects of this film that reminded me of an older movie called Crash.
Is that the sucking and fucking of open wounds? Is that the...
the scar tissue and things like that, yeah.
Sure.
And I'm not going to lie, as soon as I saw like blades getting sliced across and stuff, I totally get it.
Did Cronenberg do Crash as well?
Did he?
I don't remember. Hold on.
I have no idea. But anyway, so Timlin, that's kind of her angle. That's while she's working in this official job, unofficially she's into that kind of thing. The cutting.
No Paul Haggis.
she views surgery as
no,
the new
wait.
sex. That's her exact words. Now, the other person that Tensor meets is Whippet, and
Yeah, it
Whippet
is Cronenberg.
is
Sorry, the original one. There was a remake in 2000 and something.
okay.
Oh, that's the one I looked up. My bad.
So Whippet is also into the fetish, I suppose, aspect of it, although in a slightly different way, I guess, maybe. And he's trying to he sees the beauty inside, let's say, and that's his whole thing. The reason that he's into it, the reason he's so enticed, I suppose, is that he sees beauty in the surgeries themselves, maybe in what's done internally, in
almost in the anatomy itself.
Precisely, I suppose, yeah.
Because he's so avid about like the pictures that he takes of each thing. Like he's just very kind of enthralled in that aspect of it.
Yeah, I think maybe I find it easier to describe Timlin's thing because I can kind of get into that a little bit easier. But anyway,
right.
While Tensor invites them and he's doing his own performances, he's obviously also going to other people's performances. One such performance is the dude with the ears that we can see on screen here. While there, he's approached by a woman who suggests that he goes to this other dude to basically, somebody else that's in the same area of expertise. Now, while that's interesting, what's important is the guy that he runs into on the way there. You see that this dude is kind of, I don't want to say stalking him, but it's the father of the kid that was murdered at the start. Kind of, yeah. It's the father of the kid that was murdered at the start. And he has a very interesting, disturbing proposition for Tensor. And that is to use his kid as part of their next art exhibition. Because, like I said, the device that that's used, that I keep forgetting her name, Charlotte? No, not Charlotte. Fucking Christine. Caprice. Jesus Christ.
Think of Capri's son.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The device that Caprice uses was initially designed to do autopsies with, as explained by the really cute Burst and Rooter, who are the technical expertise experts, who I liked at first, then I really liked, then I saw them going to town on some people, and it was interesting. Anyway.
Don't watch this movie with kids in the same room.
What? For a slow-paced movie, it was a nice change of pace. Anyway, I don't know what the fuck you're covering your face for some of the shit that you said, Buzz. Where was I? Oh, yes, that's it. So,
Lang going after Saul.
Lang has this proposition, that is that he wants Tensor to use the body of his son. And the reason he wants him to use the body of his son is that he feels that there will be interesting surprises in store for people that witness it. Now, this is a really new out film, so I think probably best not to get into too many details. It is slow going. Yeah, but that's it's still recent enough. I don't think many people. Sure, we only saw the trailer for it recently enough, didn't we?
No, I think we had intended on covering it before Christmas and didn't.
Well, it's still relatively new, but in any case, it is a slow film. It's not slow in the way that I thought it would be. I thought that given the trailer that we'd be spending a lot of time on Tensor explaining the organs and crap like that, but it's not. There's actually other stuff going on. There is a larger picture, and it does unfold very, very slowly. That's the biggest downside of it.
So slowly that I'm about halfway into the movie and nothing has really unfolded as of yet.
Yeah, it's I wasn't gone on the film at first, and to be honest, if not for the fact that in the space of about 10 minutes, I had 3 legitimate what the fuck moments where I actually, while watching the film, went, what the fuck? And then, once again, because we have to review the film, I was kind of okay, I'm going to see where this goes. And Cronenberg stuff, a lot of the times, the body modification stuff, I'm sitting there and I get that it's supposed to be disturbing, and it's just not my thing. What interested me was the idea of the story, because I've seen similar things done primarily in comics and in anime, where the idea of body modification is taken to this extreme, where the idea of sex and surgery become intertwined. We've seen it in Repo the Genetic Opera to a lesser extent. Tokyo Gore Police kind of had a similar kind of notion in regards to the body modification and sexual vibe. So the topics that are being broached in it weren't new for me, but I did find kind of the investigation side of things into what's going on. That was enough to hold my interest, regardless of how slow the story was going. And by the gods, even I felt it going slowly at times. I was like, oh my, okay, come on. Visually speaking, it's stunning, as Cronenberg stuff tends to be.
Any of those surgical scenes are pretty cool.
Yeah, and
the funny thing is, like, it does move slow, and that usually is kind of like a downside for me. But I was held in by, like, the scenery of the stuff, you know? Like, it just, I don't know. Yes, it did move slow, but I never got bored.
The whole story that I'd seen so far and some of the visuals, you could have told me that this was
Eon Flux or something.
No, you could have told me that this was like attached to Videodrome. Like it's an adjacent story to Videodrome, and it would have been like
I think part of the reason it goes so slowly, and it's when you look at even that first scene when you see Tensor in his biobed thing, and it takes so long for it to come in. I think part of the reason that the story itself progresses so slowly is because Cronenberg wanted to do a movie that goes slowly so that people have no other option but to take in the visuals for as long as possible.
And make it sink in.
Yeah, to a degree, yeah. And it is when they do the performance, that initial one, the way that it's done is the look of it is just, from a cyberpunk point of view, it's super fucking slick and sweet. And even I couldn't help but kind of go, okay, this finally we're getting there. Okay, this actually does look pretty fucking cool. The way the sarc worked, the sarcophagus worked, the fold out parts, the look of everything just looked amazing. And it's enough that you're looking at going, it's so fucking pretty. Jesus, that's pretty. And I think that's part of the reason why it did go so slowly, which is unfortunate because, like I said, the story itself, it's not bad. You know, the overall story, what's going on and all the rest of it, it takes so much time to unfold, and it takes so much time to get to the fucking point that...
But there's also, like, other things going on, you know, in the background and stuff, which is what also entertained me.
Yeah, but, and kind of some of the stuff that's going on in the background is what I mean by it takes so long to get to the fucking point, because when that background stuff comes to the fore, you know, all this...
It pushes you.
Yeah, all this investigating that you see going on, when you finally see what it's about and things start to make sense and you start to get a grander picture of things, it's all part of the same thing. You're no longer viewing it as background. You're just viewing it as a part of the painting that, once you really look at it, brings the rest of the painting into proper focus.
Right, well, on that, we're going to hit the trailer for... Crimes of the Future, and we'll be back where we're going to be talking about Doktor Death, which is a new addition to the Puppet Master franchise. See you in a minute.
I can feel you pulling things around in there.
It's a brand new organ. Never before seen. We've all felt that the body was empty. Empty of meaning. And we've wanted to confirm that, so that we could fill it with meaning.
The world is a much more dangerous place now that pain has all but disappeared.
Surgery is sex, isn't it?
Is it?
You know it is. Surgery is the new sex.
I don't like what's happening with the body. In particular, what's happening with my body. Which is why I keep cutting it up. What do you think they'd find inside it?
Outer space.
Whoops. Sorry.
Let us not be afraid to map the chaos inside. Let us create a map that will guide us into the heart of darkness.
There we go, and we're back. That was the trailer for Crimes of the Future. All right.
Tristan says that I might watch this, and Hater says awkward time to join the show.
It is a little bit. Welcome in, Hater. How are you getting on, buddy?
It's also a Cronenberg.
It's a Cronenberg. It's genuine Cronenberg. So, right. What are we doing? What are we doing votes wise?
I'm going 8.
I am not going that high. I was going to go with like 6. Because...
No, like I said, dude, I dug the shit out of it. It is a little slow, but usually that's a bad thing for me. But this, like, you know, you have to soak up the scenes. You have to pay attention and see, and that makes you acknowledge everything that's going on. Like, I dug the shit out of it.
Yeah,
it's brutal, but it's got a beauty in its own right.
Yeah, but the slow pacing. I mean, even when you see everything, it's just. I understand it, but it detracts and it makes it difficult. It makes it. You wouldn't want to rewatch it. I'll put it to you that way. I don't think I could see myself rewatching it.
I had to
rewatch.
I as I said earlier, I didn't get to watch the whole movie because I fell asleep, and when I woke up, I only had time to eat and get about an hour back into it. But the half an hour I had watched that I rewatched was torture. But in saying that, I'll probably so. Carter's an 8, you're a 6. Mm-hmm. I'm probably also going to give it a 6 because I could kind of see where it was going, and slow and all as it is, I agree with you. What a bit of it I did see is visually stunning, especially when you get into the Cronenberg body modification, crazy shit and trippy shit that is synonymous with any of these movies. Viggo Mortensen did a really good job with the character that he was playing, as did Kirsten Stewart, and I can't remember the name of the lady that plays his kind of apprentice.
Leah Seydoux.
The one who plays the priest. I can't remember the actual actress's name. They all did absolutely great work in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
From what I'd seen. It's just that the pacing is, I'm sure if I'd managed to make it the whole way through, I would understand the pacing of it more. But I didn't, but I'd probably land on a 6 because I could see how. I don't know. Maybe if I hadn't been working all day and just knocked 2 movies back before it, I may not have fallen asleep while watching it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
I'll probably go a 5. Like, it looks great. The performances were good. It just, for me, and that's like all jokes aside, like, there's just so much going on in this movie that it's just like not that I'm stupid or anything. It was just like, I just couldn't keep up. Like, there's just so much weird shit going on in this movie that it's just like, as soon as one thing happened, they're on to the next ridiculous thing. And I'm just like, what the, like, I just, by an hour in, my brain just like stopped.
There are many subplots that I'm assuming
all
amalgamate together by the end of it. Yeah. I could see how.
But it is like there is a lot of busy shit going on story wise.
There's just so much stuff introduced.
Comes out and
I think maybe that's what helped with the slowness. Like, there was all that in the background.
Sorry to hear you're sick, by the way, Hater.
5.
Get well soon. 5. Okay, well, that is an all-round Gorecast rating of 6.25, which is quite respectable, considering 3 of us were like, this movie's slow as fuck. But yeah, no. It is, if you like your Cronenberg stuff, you will be happy with what you see. It's just the journey there.
It's going to take a while.
It's going to take a while. And I'm probably going to have to rewatch the hour that I watched again, because I would like to actually see what the whole hullabaloo is by the end of it, because there's like 3 or 4 subplots already kind of starting to formulate at the moment, and I would like to see where the fuck any of them go.
Actually, that was it.
Very body horror.
There is one subplot, or something happens, and you have a couple of characters in the film are doing stuff, and it's never explained why, and it's the only thing that had me sitting there after the film, kind of going, why were they doing that? Because I get that, and I get that. Why that? And
remind me after the show. I think I know why that happened.
I thought I had it figured out as well, but the very fact that we had to think about it, and it wasn't. Now, normally I don't have an issue with thinking about stuff, but there was no proper resolve, if you get me. By the end of things, you're just kind of like, huh?
Yeah, no, I said remind me after. I think I know where the link was to that.
Yeah, as do I think.
I don't.
It's because we were being very vague, Buzz. I'm sure if we went into detail, you'd be like, oh, yep, I know what you're talking about.
I think I know what you're talking about, but the reason why, I have no idea.
Oh, yeah. Okay. As I said, that's the one that I think that the audience is left to kind of try and figure out, maybe.
Anyway, next up we have Puppet Master Doktor Death, which is the, let me add it up here quickly, the quintuplet entry into the Puppet Master franchise. For anyone who doesn't know, the Puppet Master franchise is about these evil lineage of puppets owned by the Nazis, as we find out later on, that they got their own personalities. They're brought together via some scientific exploration and a whole lot of black magic. And these puppets love fucking murder and shit, for the most part. As any franchise of this kind of variety goes, as the series went on, more and more puppets kind of got added to the mix. Doktor Death, I think, is one of the original lineup guys, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah.
And is one of the few to be graced with his own movie, Blade, as I said, being off the top of my head the only other one that I can think of that has had his own standalone, or possibly even two.
Just one.
Just one. Okay.
Yeah. He's been in all the movies, but then he got a standalone before Lilith Reich, and then Doctor got his own standalone.
Yes, that sounds correct. Right, let me just pull up the IMDb here because I committed 0 character names.
Lady number 1.
Yeah, so it follows this nursing home where we have a new nurse starting by the name of
April.
April, thank you. April seems like a nice lass. You know, she's painted out to be a very nice, wholesome. You know, you have your standard practice of any horror movie. In this, it's just that instead of it being teenagers, it's nursing home stewards, essentially.
20-somethings.
Yeah. So, well, I was talking more like job-wise. You know, it's all nursing home stewards, but we still have the standard mix of people. We have the jock kind of asshole dude who's got his job via nepotism. 100%, because it's the only way he'd get hired is if he's mum or dad owned somewhere. We have April, as we mentioned, who's the nice new girl on the block. I'm not down into your crazy slutty shenanigans. You have Rebecca, who is a horny nurse, very horny nurse. She's doing the patients. Probably responsible for a heart attack or two, young Rebecca. And you know what? I would
gotta go with a smile.
Understandable. It's understandable. And finally, we have the other guy who's the nice dude who kind of fancies the cute chick who's new, which is your standard thing. Now, in this nursing home, Afzel, is it his name? One of the old proprietors and owner of the Evil Dolls was in the nursing home, and everyone thought he was crazy because he kept talking about all these evil dolls, and there's evil possessed dolls, and they're trying to fucking murder people, and they're fucking, believe it or not, they're really in with the Nazis, and that had a lot to do with World War II. The little dolls had a lot to do with World War II. They are World War II. No, you crazy old son of a bitch. Eat your Vicodin. That's essentially it. He has an unfortunate mishap of old age. Maximilian, that's his fucking name. Is it? Yes.
Yeah, they're calling them Max.
Yeah, Maximilian.
Oh, either Tristan's fallen asleep or Zeus is on the keyboard.
Combination of both. Yeah, Maximilian Kuda. No.
I was right. It was Zeus.
He dies presumably of natural causes. So, as a standard practice, evidently, everyone knows that it's an unwritten rule. Once somebody dies and they have no family that's going to become claiming their shit, that's my shit. So they all go into his bedroom, and the asshole nepotism steward hammers his way into the box, at which point they find the doll, infamously known as Doktor Death. Not so infamously that anyone knows who the fuck the doll is in this particular instance, but for anyone who's aware of the franchise, he's got a rep. And then people start dying. That's basically the story. There's a real twist at the end that comes so out of nowhere that I'm kind of pissed off about it. But that's basically the story from there. Is the doll starts murdering people, as he's wont to do. Killing people isn't overtly hard for him in this particular instance because most people are old as shit and they're kind of on death's door anyway. So some people, I think he's merely... Hey, Donnie, how's it going? Welcome in. He's merely just pushing some people over the threshold a little bit earlier than they were going to be going over anyway. But yeah, so needless to say, there's an investigation that needs to happen because obviously instantaneously people aren't like, oh, murder doll. You know, so they're kind of like, oh my God, I think it's one of the stewards because Miss, what's her face is Miss Granny Smith in room 1. Sure looked like her or her air pipe had got pulled out.
Oxygen.
That's the one. Oxygen pipe. Had got pulled out of her mouth, and there was another doctor who died under suspiciously gruesome circumstances, as in pretty hacked up, suspiciously gruesome circumstances. Asshole gets beaten up by the doll at one stage and gets put in the trunk of a car. That was funny.
Kind of nice.
I liked that. They were like, that awesome thing. Like, who the hell did this to you? The fucking doll. And it was like, you know what? A lot of shit kind of makes sense now if you kind of add it all up in my head. Anyway, and that's basically it. Storyline was after that, all kind of super in-depth plot disappears. Not that there's ever super in-depth plot in a Puppet Master movie anyway, so it's kind of on brand. I won't lie to you, if you're a fan of the Puppet Master franchise, this is probably tickle your pickle. It's pretty on point with the rest of the franchise. The gore is good when you see people get gored. Most of it is kind of it's
implied.
It's kind of implied, and also, which is my one gripe with the movie, is I remember the movies years ago, like the original ones that came out like late 80s or early 90s, I can't remember when, but somehow the puppets seemed more visually interactive in this. Like at no stage when you're watching any of these scenes with people do you feel the puppet is moving around on his own. Do you know what I mean? It's very much, you know, cut to a still shot of the puppet with, you know, probably someone kind of underneath the camera doing this kind of thing, walking. Cut to insert whoever been like, what's that noise or whatever. Cut to close up of puppet's hands very crudely been put in like this and grabbing a thing. Cut to person going, what's that noise? Cut to puppet appearing from off camera somewhere. Cut to puppet holding a knife. Cut to, no, please don't kill me. Cut to close up of the knife. Cut to, cut to scream face. Cut to bloody scene. And it, as a byproduct, you never actually get, while a gory movie, you never really get to see any of the actual kills properly on camera. And as I said, in a world, not that I'm saying go CGI, but in a world where you could very realistically, especially because none of these puppets are fucking freaky deaky detailed looking, do you know what I mean?
No.
Right.
You could very competently, on a low budget, I think as well, to be honest, have some sort of motion to fill in between the puppets, or ring the guys that made the original movies, because it's Full Moon that are doing this as well, and be like, how did you make the puppets look like they were doing the thing with the people? Because it was just,
because like they actually looked like they were walking and they were moving as they were.
Now I know
like
there was a bit of like doing shit with them on green screen back in that day, because I know there were some of them where you could be like, okay, that's definitely that puppet's green screened in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, like you could see their legs as they like walk.
But just in the Littlest Reich, yes, in the Littlest Reich, if memory serves me correctly, they did a really good job there, where there was just the right amount of CGI just to fill in the blanks, so you could get a wide shot of Blade running up a hall or something like that. You know, they didn't go to town on it. They still did the puppet motion, but there was a lot more wide shots where you'd see. I don't know, is it they didn't have the budget to have multiple puppets with hands or something, or what? I don't know what it was, but you used to be able to like see the puppet kind of walk up someone's stomach while lying in the bed, and they'd have the knife in their hand. Do you know what I mean? Even though you knew full well it was some dude with a fucking stick green screened out from behind, but it felt more natural,
But it made the
all in the
difference.
one scene together. This all seemed very forced, and in a weird way, it never really. You never feel that these two people are, or should I say, person and puppet. You never feel like they're very much realistically interacting with each other, and it detracts a little bit, especially when you've seen early in the franchise, and you're kind of like, I don't know how they did it, but they were doing it.
It's one of those odd things that how in 2022 can something look worse than 1989? Like,
as I said,
and like a lot of the deaths were more of like the aftermath. Like we don't see said
well, you see,
slice. It's just person laying
as I
there
said,
dead.
you never get that wide shot where you see like the person on the bed or the person on the floor and the puppet kind of coming up on top of them or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? It's constantly just hard cut to close up, hard cut to close up, hard cut to close up. And then the ending threw me for a 6 as well, because it kind of, like I'm all down for
I felt like that was wedged in there.
I'm all down for a twist ending. And the movie's only out like 5 days, so I'm not going to give away or get into what the twist ending is, but I am going to say what miffed me about it is I'm down for a twist ending. I like a good twist at the end of a movie. Do you know what I mean? But the thing that makes a good twist is when there's some little nugget, and I'm not talking about as in like, you know, you need to pigeon feed it to the audience because they're not going to figure it out by the end of it, but there's normally some little nugget that as a movie watcher you'll get a bit of gratification from, going, I remember that from the start. That
it needs to be earned.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And it wasn't earned because it didn't put any effort into that. It just feels like they were like, I have no idea how to end this movie. Well, how about we do this? Sure, let's do it. And it's like,
because it literally came out of the blue.
It didn't exactly.
It did.
It did though.
It did, though.
Because at the beginning, the majority of this movie
before
is.
you even go on, Giz, right? Or Carter, it came so out of the blue that I'm trying to figure out how I can fucking. The scene where the truth bomb is dropped, it comes so out of the blue that for the majority of that scene, X is running in fear from Y until, for no apparent reason, decides to drop bomb about Y.
No, I felt like that was
and it's
wedged
kind of
in
like,
there.
why not, when Y went after X initially, be like, hey, Y, maybe not. I got a truth bomb that I'm not going to get into, but you know what I mean?
Well, what I meant by, hang on, there is multiple times over the course of the film where she is stating that where it is established that there is a connection to something. Now, admittedly, I thought it was going to be a connection to someone that had died earlier on in the film, and this was a vendetta thing. So I didn't think of it as, I was like, oh, okay. But it didn't come as that much of a surprise. I was waiting for a revelation that there was a connection, but I thought it was going to be a connection to something else, and that this was going to be often a vengeance thing. So I wasn't that out of
I get what you're saying, because there's that whole, like, you know, hey, you're new in town. What are you doing here? Oh, you know, like, I get what you're saying, but it's still like, even with that last part just felt like kind of.
And you kind of almost answered yourself, right? You said you thought it was going to be this. But then they just out of nowhere were like, no, it's this.
But that's my point,
because it was out of nowhere.
For me, that was the twist, because I saw the out of nowhere part was the twist. So I was like, oh, okay. You know, whereas everything else, I was expecting her to say something, but
I feel like a lot of the other movies were able to like link them together better.
I'll take your word for it. I'm not a big fan of the franchise. I haven't seen all of them the way that you have. For me,
that could have been the way, was more of not the twist itself, but the execution was poorly. was done poorly. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
It just like having that twist
isn't what I have the issue. It's how I got there.
Yeah.
Is the problem.
It's just like we're running out of time. We just need to do this, end it, and then boom, and it drops, and just like
can't wait for us to get a screener for fucking Cocaine Bear, man. I'm mad to see it.
Oh, dude, I'm loving the trailer. That looks like it's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's the
also the bunny from AEW's in it,
and the Blade,
Is the Blade in it as well?
Yeah, he's
in the same scene.
He's the guy that she talks to.
Right. Sorry, one moment. I'm just looking
about
for
as long as Billy Zane was in the previous film.
Yeah,
looking for something here real quick because it's
like straight up. They both just kind of walked in. Hi. I kept like waiting for them to like pop back into the movie at some point.
You're just waiting, and then sadness.
Like credits, like, oh, okay. That had to be like a one-day take. No, like I watched them all, and they're stupid films, but they're stupid fun, which is why I enjoy every last one of them.
I fell off after the fifth one. I watched up to the fifth one. After that, like Retro Puppet, I've seen bits and pieces of other ones, but like I stopped like following them after the fifth one. Because the fifth one was really like just a very lazy, like I wouldn't say it's a crash grab. I'm sure they didn't really make that much money on it, but like it was I don't know what I'm trying to say. The fifth one was pretty much almost like a direct sequel to not a sequel, but like almost like it was the same movie. Like there was the one with the, I don't know why I'm being vague about it because it came out like 20 years ago, but like it was the one with like the little demon things that weird skeleton dude like sent after them, and they had two movies that was like the same thing, and I was just like, wait, I just watched that, and then after that I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Like I don't know, like I said, I've watched them all, and I mean they're entertaining. But I did feel like they kind of got away from like that original Puppet Master feel, especially when you got into like
earliest like memories that I have of watching like horror movies, because like the first one came out like 89, I think it was. Like the sequel was like 91, so I was like 5-6 years old. So like I remember watching, especially the second one. I remember like recording it on like my VCR, like on USA Network when they would play it or whatever. And I watched the shit out of like the second, third, fourth one because those were the ones that they could afford to get like the rights to.
No, I don't know. Like when you got into the whole like Axis of Evil and all those, like it kind of felt like Chucky, where it started out good, but then it kind of started to like veer off. So when they did like when Blade got its standalone, it felt like they kind of got back on course.
The Blade standalone was good.
Yeah, like the
Littlest Reich was really like Littlest Reich was like, this is a fucking Puppet Master movie.
Yeah, so it was good to see them kind of like get back on track with Blade and stuff like that.
And as I said as well,
so
with
like,
Littlest Reich as well was that's where they started mixing just these tiny little bits of CGI movement in with the puppet just to give it some extra angles you wouldn't normally be able to do, and none of it ever looked naff, and it was all used at a tasteful amount. And I really think like that's the most they've nailed it, I think, in many years, is Littlest Reich. Like they nailed that one to the wall. It was great.
And I mean, like I liked this one because this is not the first time we get to see Dr. Death. We get to see Dr. Death like way back, and I can't remember whatever the one that was. So it was cool to see, hey, here's another character coming up and stuff. I mean, it moves fast. Like that shit starts and it's over. Like
it was only 59 minutes.
Right.
You move fast with a 59-minute fucking plot.
So like I said, I liked it, but what was it? It's not the twist. It was the execution. I think is my biggest problem with it. Other than that, I dug it.
All right, on that, we're going to hit the trailer for Puppet Master Dr. Death, and then we will be back to where Buzz has got me some of the weirdest. What is it?
Today we're doing Help Wanted ads.
Help Wanted ads from around the internet. That's going to be a doozy. See you in a few.
residents passed away last night. What happened? Heart attack.
Generally, I like to ease the new staff in, but these things, well, they happen.
Max had no living relatives.
So then what happens to all this stuff?
What do you have there?
Just like Christmas.
Having served his country in World War II, Max led an illustrious life.
Would anyone else like to say something about Max?
Did you hear about what happened to Mr. Abbott? No, what about him? They found him in the funeral home, mutilated.
Check on the residents.
Her oxygen tube, it looked like it was yanked out.
Oh, great. Clearly the sign of a deranged serial killer.
It's okay. You're safe. Do you remember anything of what happened?
I know what I saw.
And that's the trailer for Puppet Master Doktor Death. I will say all of the main characters, they did a great job. Like I found the characters quite easy to get on board with from the start of the movie. Some of the cool scenes where Dr. Death does what Dr. Death does, walking some people around like man robots. That's always cool.
Weird but cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll probably give it a, for me, I will say a solid 6.
I think I'm stuck at a 5 again. Just
especially because it's only like an hour. I could see me watching this again. Like I could see me just throwing this on as some carnage.
Yeah, like I wasn't overly impressed with. I mean, like there was a few good scenes, but I wasn't overly impressed with a lot of like what we kind of talked about before with the kills and just was the ending, the way it ended, just was kind of like I said. I mean, we've talked about it already. It was just kind of like, okay, here we go, ending. The actors did well; they played their parts well. It looked fine, cinematography wise. What's a big word? Yeah, so right in the middle, 5.
Alrighty. Who's next?
I'll probably give it a 6. It's like I said, I'm not a big fan of the Puppet Master franchise, so for me this was. I have a vague knowledge of the general idea. I know he's one of the guys from the films, so this is kind of like a standalone story, and I like the fact that it was short. It felt like if they were going to do more of these, I could see them releasing them as a series of hour-long standalone things where each one is focusing on a different puppet, maybe.
Which would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it could be.
There's some interesting puppets in there.
Yeah, but for what it was, it was entertaining. It was short, which I think once again definitely worked in its favor. There wasn't a lot in regards of plot. I know you said that you had a problem with the execution of that twist thing. For me, maybe it's because I didn't have the same standards that you have in regards to the Puppet Master films. So
it's not Puppet Master films. It's in relation to twist endings. So I like there to be some subtext to the twist ending.
I don't know. I thought they did a decent enough job of leading up to the fact that there was going to be something, and then it turned out to be this. I was like, oh, all right, fair enough. So yeah, overall, I think 6. It looked decent enough. I agree with Johnny. I have seen some of the other ones where the puppet moves better, and I even think that a combination of the old Harryhausen techniques done on green screen is probably the best way to go about it, because you can do that and then just impose it on whatever actor you have in the scenes. But like I said,
that definitely makes a difference.
Yeah, but like I said, maybe just budget constraints. They weren't able to do it, so that they stuck with what they did.
Well, it kind of it's just it takes away a bit, because you're like, you never feel the danger. I know you're watching someone get killed, but when you never feel these two people are actually interacting with, or these two things are never actually interacting with each other, the danger element isn't really there.
Yeah.
And the fact that you've seen it before, like it's like if this was kind of how all of them were, then it would have been a little bit different because it's like, okay, well, that's how they all are. But
Sure,
like,
like that
kind of have
feel.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's almost like and it could, like I said, it could have been the budget thing. It's just they take almost like a step backwards in the movements of the puppets. That's a lot of main thing of where it was at, and here it's the lack of movement. Like you said, you do the whole close-up thing, and that's what they do. Okay, well, we don't have the budget to fully make it look like it's moving, so we need to do something different, and that's where I think them almost going back. And I said it's most likely probably because of the budget. I'm not saying the other films had big budgets though, but I mean, or if it was a time thing and they just had to hurry up and get stuff. I don't know, but it seemed like it was taking a step backwards in its evolution of the puppet.
I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 6. Like, I like the fact that it still had that old school feel of Puppet Master vibe to it. They didn't fuck that up. And then, like, with everything that everybody else has already put out there. So, but getting the standalones like Blade, Doktor Death, and stuff, I'm hoping to see, more of those. It'd be cool to get more standalones, or just, I don't know, more Puppet Master films because they're cool.
Indeed. Okay, well, that's us. Oh yeah, sorry. What number? What number did you give there?
3 6s, 3 6s, and a 5.
3 6s and a 5. Alrighty. So that is a 5.75 for Puppet Master from the Gorecast boys, which is a pretty solid number as well. 5.75. I could definitely see me chucking this on again. Like if I was editing or something, I was just looking for some mindless entertainment to have on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite easily. I like Giz's idea where it'd be like a Masters of Horror, except it'd be Masters of Puppets. Because you have potential to do a series.
So many of them.
There's easily 8 of those guys, if not more.
Oh yeah.
Question: how many films has it been since New Moon? Like how many?
I think New Moon have had it nearly the whole time. Full Moon, by the way, yeah.
Full Moon.
They were the original ones, yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it's just the way you were saying stuff a while ago. It sounded like
other companies have gotten.
They had it
with
originally
Full Moon,
for like the first 4 or 5 movies. Then they didn't do some in the middle that were what some would describe as highly questionable. And then that's why everyone was excited when Dread Central started announcing that they were going to be redoing them because they were doing them in association with Full Moon. And then, surprise, surprise, they were great.
And that's the one. That's the run that's currently going, is it?
Currently, at the moment, yeah.
Yeah.
Started with Blade, and then it went into Littlest Reich and Axis of Evil,
Doktor Death,
and then Doktor Death.
Perhaps that's exactly what they're doing. If they release each movie focusing on a character.
Well, no, they haven't been all focusing on a character.
Just the last 3.
No, not even the last 3. There was this, then there was Littlest Reich was all of them. Then there was the Axis of
story.
Whatever. No, Littlest Reich wasn't an origin story. Or sorry, Littlest Reich wasn't an origin story. Littlest Reich happened in modern time at the time.
Oh, okay.
Then there was another one where there was several of the puppets. Then this.
Okay.
So, anywho, Buzzles has been around the internetals for our entertainmentals to find us some of the weirdest wanted ads in the internet.
Yes, those are correct.
Those are definitely words that make sense in relation to what we're talking about.
Sorry, I actually got the full release timeline of the movies, and they're all over the place.
Here am I. Okay, we need to go back here. This one is a tiny picture, so I'm going to need to do this for the moment. We'll also probably get rid of the number because that'll help. Nope. Nope.
Full size.
Right. There we go. Okay. Full size mattress, Royal Tonic, 20-year warranty, like new, slight urine smell, $40.
It's only a slight.
Oh, these are all tiny. I should probably leave all of these up. Okay. Soccer ball, signed by either Pelé, the former Brazilian soccer player, widely renowned by most experts and fans to be the finest player that ever existed, or by some guy named Peter, $75.
Hey, yeah. Peter, that guy.
He's still honest.
Peter.
Surgeon wanted for a new health clinic opening in the area. No experience needed. Must have own tools.
Oh my word! That sounds like a Cronenberg movie to happen like early.
Tired of working for only $9.74 per hour? We offer profit sharing and flexible hours and benefits. Starting pay $5 to $7 per hour.
$7
Call.
per hour.
Yeah.
He didn't say you were going to get more. You just said, "Are you tired?"
You just said, "Are you tired of getting paid $9.75? How about we give you an
We can pay you less.
nice even $7
if you're lucky."
Waitress needed. Must be 18 years old with 20 years experience. Apply in person. Carnation Restaurant.
Try to figure that out.
You need to be in some sort of looper kind of scenario for that to be able to happen.
I think perhaps maybe someone accidentally put in an extra zero after the 2.
One would hope.
Probably that would make sense.
You'd hope, but
yeah.
Wanted.
They're probably wondering.
Somebody to go back in time with me. Oh, this explains the waitress from the last. Wanted somebody to go back in time with me. This is not a joke. You'll get paid after we get back. Must bring your own weapons. Safety not guaranteed. I've only done this once before.
I'm in.
Yeah, that does sound like the waitress.
The more times we do stuff like this and horror movie decisions, and I hear Giz's opinion on what to do, and I used to be like, mission 1 if a zombie apocalypse or something kicked off is like acquire family, go get Giz, and then be like, Giz and I have the right mentality / violence level that it should be okay in a zombie apocalypse. But I worry and doubt about you now on several things that you've said.
Yeah, you're defending the homestead and he's trying to pick up dates.
Whoa.
That zombie's
is
pretty
not a
hot
zombie
looking. That
apocalypse.
zombie's pretty zombie. Yeah. Shoot it in the fucking head. Stop looking at it.
This is time travel. Whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah, you could be dealing with barbarians, dinosaurs, and or Roman soldiers.
Exactly. You want to go tooled up to the balls with like fucking homemade napalm and fucking thermite and what else could I make? Ooh, that'd be fun. Gas grenades.
I'm mad to see how thermite deals with time travel. Because I can't see the compression of time travel and thermite going as a good combination together.
You're thinking of nitroglycerin. I feel thermite would be just fine.
I don't know.
Nitroglycerin I wouldn't be stupid enough to bring because all kinds of jostling and things. But thermite you need to actually have a high enough fucking flame to actually ignite it in the first place.
I don't know. Anything highly explosive and time travel, I would be a little bit apprehensive.
So hang on. So I just bring the necessary ingredients and mix when I get there.
Why don't you just get the necessary ingredients?
Because they might not have been around, depending on how far back you go.
What up, Jen? Welcome in,
Jackal.
Hello.
Everybody bow down to the Waffle Nation. That's not something she's ever said before, or I don't know why that popped out of my mouth. But you know what? Maybe we can make it a thing. Waffle Nation.
I have a funny feeling it probably will be.
Bring up the dubs.
But anyway, yeah, I'd be down for armed time travel.
Of course you would. Anyway, moving on. Okay. I'll survive the zombie apocalypse on my own, I guess. For sale.
It's just a different fucking thing.
For sale. Due to the down economy. That's definitely supposed to be due, I would assume. Due to the down economy.
It should be, yes, but
or
then
is
again,
the down economy some sort of dance move that I'm unaware of? Do the down economy, but I'm so depressed. I lost my house. I do the down economy.
That's still grammatically incorrect because why is there a 2 in there?
What fucking 2?
Do 2.
due to the down economy.
Is the way it should be. But the way that you were pronouncing it there when you were saying it was dense due to the down economy, you're forgetting there's a 2 in the middle of it.
Look.
That's not entertaining.
Semantics, dude. Semantics.
Yes, they are semantics, but
I'm doing great. How you doing? How you getting on? How you doing? I'm doing good. Anyway.
I just want to know what's for sale that has like Star Trek pictures.
I know. I'm mad to get past the first 4 words of this sentence, to be honest. How you doing? How you doing? Due to the down economy, I am forced to sell my collection of Star Trek portraits in order to continue paying for my World of Warcraft subscription. Harsh times, bud. Harsh times. Each one is hand-painted by myself. Please call. If my mom picks up, ask for Warlock. It's D&D. Warriors that terrify. It's D&D.
Warlock phone.
Warlock's a virgin. Till the day.
No.
But a damn good artist if that's what he's after painting.
I'm pretty sure he took actual, like, professional style things and just put them in the thing. You get them and it looks like me doing Gardic phone or whatever the thing is. It's a bunch of stuff.
No, they look like they're painted in pop art style. Or they could be. I don't know. I won't lie to you. The fact that it's in a wanted ad in a newspaper leads me to believe that this is from many decades ago.
It does look very 70s, but then again, he's on about a World of Warcraft subscription, so there's that.
Dude, World of Warcraft is out for fucking years.
But not the 70s.
I didn't say the 70s.
No, that's right, I did, because it looked very 70s.
Someone, Carter, will you be my Google?
Yep.
Do a Google on when did the World of Warcraft exist?
I think it was in the
Wanted,
90s.
looking for someone to do yard work, must have a hula hoop.
Pretty...
Color me suspicious. I don't think it's gardening. That person, they're looking to do some work in the yard, all right, but I don't think it's gardening. Call me crazy, guys.
Oh no!
So Johnny, Google has your answer. It's called 2004.
2004.
Really?
Yeah.
It is 2 decades ago.
Google's a liar.
Google, you lying son of a bitch.
Fuck you, Dave Google.
Anyway, that is it from us here at the Gorecast, because that is the last one of these. Go away, window capture. Thank you. I'll be back tomorrow over on Twitch, where I will be doing Fan Bam Friday, where we'll be doing some presumably Gartic phone and then some Daisy and probably other shenanigans in between. And don't forget, I'll be doing Saturday, where there's a Gladiators event going on the special server, and I believe I'm shoutcasting for it.
Oh,
yeah,
that's going to be awesome.
I'm going to be, well, I say me, it's going to be Peggy. Peggy's going to be the Bruce Buffer to the voiceovers. No, not Bruce Buffer. I'm going to be the Joe Rogan of this bitch. It's what's going on.
Oh, that just got.
They're going to throw a load of people in firearms in a maze together, and they're going to have me, the Joe Rogan of Daisy, doing a voiceover, talking about what's going on in the game. Be all like, "Hey, look at the blue team. They got a fucking thing with a grenade," and I'll be all like, "Oh wow," you know, it'd be wow.
Is that Saturday normal time for you guys?
8 p.m. GMT.
All right, let me check.
That's 8 p.m. our time.
No. I think I converted it from their time to my time in my head already, but now I'm actually not sure, so I need to check. Carter did that thing where he was like, "Oh, did you?" And
I'm curious because I was actually wanting to watch.
Yeah,
so.
I know.
I've never done a shoutcast before, so it should be interesting.
There's a guy. There's a guy. Chat. There we go. Get me out this poster, you fucker. No, that's not it.
Tristan says I'll be on as much as I can tomorrow, Johnny.
Perfect. Tomorrow. Oh, is that tomorrow at 9 p.m.? Okay, tomorrow at 9 p.m. Oh, no, wait. Today is technically Friday, so that's what it means by tomorrow at 9 p.m.
Okay, that fucked me up. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, because Fan Bam Friday is definitely still happening, so I'm pretty sure that's... Yeah. If Waffles is still in the chat, I am correct. I'm pretty sure it's Saturday, so it's 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Saturday, Irish time. I think.
Hater says Fan Bam Friday.
Fan Bam Friday tomorrow. Yeah. Or today. No.
All right. So here it says February 18th, 3 p.m. CST.
The advertisement for the
Twitter.
Gladiators event?
Yeah.
That would be Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah. I was just saying the actual time because you were saying 8, but some of us aren't in your time.
Yeah, it would be 3 p.m.
3 p.m. CST. Yep.
Which is about right.
It's about
Okay.
right because mathematically
Sorry.
we're 6 hours ahead of the CSTs. Because
4 p.m. EST.
Giz and I live in the future. But
sucks.
Anyway, tomorrow's Fan Bam Friday. Here's some fucking Twitch clips to give you a little flavour as to what crazy Peggy related action you're going to see. I'll catch you all during the week. We're going to be talking about some other sort of mad horror bollocks, fuckers. Bye bye.
I don't think I'm allowed inside the gates anyway with a gun.
Then leave the guns outside the gate. Or just let me blow up this fucking couch. Just make your call now, please.
I think I'm nearly there to get a view.
Because he's fucking hell. He's
I can see you running around, yeah. Do it.
I'm just waiting for him to get somewhere. Oh my god, throw that.
He's running.
Oh shit.
Oh, what sort of fucking gun was that? That didn't even stun lock him. How did he not get stun locked? Well, shit. How did he not get stun locked? Give me a minute. I need to click that quick.
Yes. You know. Let me know that you can. Shut the fuck up and just put it on. Okay, thank you. Let me know that you can take on the legacy, please.
This is touching.
Thank you. That's all I ask.
I can take on the legacy.
Look, you can have all this.
No, but that's yours.
You got.
Oh no! Why? What are you doing to her?
That's yours. Take it.
Why? What are you doing to my best friend?
I'm not doing nothing.
Tammy, shut up. And Peggy's watching your stories.
Okay.
Take it!
Oh my god. Oh my lord.
Take it!
I'm taking it.
Take Wyatt, take it!
Damn! I kind of locked him.
You just kill him.
All right.
Is he dead?
Yeah, Wyatt.
You killed him dead?
He's dead.
Bad Barbara.
Like
Oh my god,
Wyatt.
Pepper. Oh.
Barbara did himself.
I don't want to do it.
There we go.
Oh my god. That is amazing.
Okay, well that had the opposite effect.
Somebody clip that, please.
Okay, you gotta stop exerting yourself. It didn't work out at all. It didn't.
What's your